Alright, well, there is a couple things I wanted to clear up. So yesterday, when I was doing my, oh, when I tried to do a tutorial, I was mistaken on the multiplaying. You can multiplay, but you can only have two characters in the server at the same time. So you can have as many characters as you want, but you can only have two on at once. So that's kind of where I was mistaken there, and I have to thank one of the comments from that I'd had on that video. And also, if anybody has watched that trip video, it was brought to my attention by Lord Vane that there was two clips in there, and I apologize for that. The editor I use is very convoluted. It's very it's got a lot of going on. Like if I import a clip, it doesn't let me name said clip. And pretty much what I'm going to be doing on this one is just trying to sum up a few more things about the mud. Like I said, one of my previous streams a while back about the mud, I was a sand. Well, yesterday I managed to get all 7 of the Earth Dragon Balls, and I wished for a rebirth token, which allows me to rebirth to a different race. So the race I had chosen to rebirth to is a Kaio, like the Supreme Kai and stuff like that. However, we can always try and figure that stuff out as we go, because I'm not too used to what the Kai's playstyle is. Sands are pretty straightforward, whereas Kai's are not as powerful in some degree. Now, that being said, I do think the Kai's have their advantages in some ways. For instance, the Kai's can mark points to teleport to, which I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit. Like, I know how to mark a room, but I haven't figured out how to instant transmit back to that room. And pretty much there are disadvantages to rebirthing. Like, you lose a quarter of your PL, and you lose some stats and stuff. Which, in doing so, where I was, it means I can't use all of my dragon armor that I'd had gotten from using the Dragon Balls. No big deal. I just gotta start power grinding stats and PL. My PL's pretty not too bad. I'm only about 3 billion. Yeah, about 3 billion less than what I was. I was at about 16.5 billion. And then right now I'm at 13.5, so not too bad there. And you'll have to excuse me, I just woke up. But what do I plan to do with the Kaio? Is that from if you guys have watched, anybody on my channel has ever watched Dragon Ball Super, the Immortals, the administrators of this mud, the admins, they've started coding in stuff from Super. So like the Imperfect Kaio, and sorry, some reason Cortana thought I was talking to her. But they also, so far they've gotten the Imperfect Kaio, and they've also gotten Kaio San, which is like what happened when Zamasu took over Goku's body and became Goku Black. So that's probably what I'm going to be working towards. Not necessarily imperfect, but Kaio-san, and we will see what I can figure out about it, because the Kaio-san has the advantages of being able to use the Sans moves, the race moves, as well as turning into Super Saiyan Rose or Rose. And another thing I wanted to say is thank you guys for supporting my channel. I've got 29 subscribers now. I'll try and have to figure out something to do for the 30 subscriber when I reach 30 subscribers. Because right at the moment I've done a kind of like celebratory video when I had reached 20, and I'll do the same for 30, because that's still a milestone. I mean, it's going to take me some time. And another thing, guys, is that one thing I've been looking at, and I don't know how to code, I don't know how to do any of that, but if you guys, anyone out there ever does feel like getting into the game, keep in mind that right now they are looking for more help with the game. There's immortal spots open, there's admins, there's enforcers, I'm pretty sure they may need coders still, I don't know, but that's all on the forum, which I will post up in the comments section for the forum. So just give me 1 second. If I remember right, it was let me try help bio. There it is. But I'll put this over in the comment section. But that's the link to get to the forum. And it's all free. You don't have to pay nothing to get in. Pretty much at this point, like I said, I need to get my character back up in stats. Because of the rebirth, I lost a few stats and I lost some power level. So, one thing we'll be working on. Let's see. And the training. See, when I was rebirthing my character, I was wanting to do either Kaio or Bio Android. Now the Bio Android looks more like a PK class, like it would be definitely made for PKing, or at least make PKing a little bit more fun. Because in order to evolve the Bio Androids, you need to have so many NPCs, so many PKs, which NPCs, non-playable characters, and PKs, player killing. Once you reach a certain point on how many you've absorbed with your tail, you can evolve into the next level. The difference between the Bio Androids and some of the other races is that when you evolve with the Bio Android, it's a permanent evolution. You can't go back with whereas the Sans, can go back. The Iserians can go back, which an Iserian is like Frieza. The Kaios don't per se have a transformation. They do have mystic form. which I do have. I just don't have the energy to keep that form up for long. Which also brings up something I'm curious about, skills. Let's come back here real quick. Ascension. I wonder if I haven't practiced any of the Kyle specific skills yet. Some of the skills that are the same, I have. You keep this like you for skills that you had as the race previous. You don't unlearn them. You still have that knowledge of them. The skills that are new to the character, however, you have to start from scratch. Like Mystic, Spirit Bomb I had as a Sand. I could get as a Sand, but I didn't go and learn. I'm not too worried about it. It's powerful move, yes, but not something I'm too worried about. Let's see, and right now I'm still in the gravity room. So when that training's done, I'm going to go back through my skills and go over to the healing room, see what I can learn from him. There's a trainer there. Certain skills you have to go to certain people to learn. Like Mystic, I had to find old Kai, the old pervert Kai. But oh, that V8 better kick in soon. But yeah, if you like reading books and stuff, and you got an imagination, I do believe Muds would be something you could play because it's very descriptive and it flows. Alright, my stamina is too low. Go back over here. And one thing I do, like with the client I use, it automatically defaults a numerical pad on the keyboard for 8 to be north and well, like 8 is north, 4 is west, 6 is south, east, and 2 is south. Because there are some areas where you can go northwest and northeast and stuff, and then you would be using 7 and 9, and it makes it a little bit faster to move around for me, at least. So I use the numerical pad, and I end up getting around fairly quickly, fairly easily. Equipment, like I was talking about with like some of my gear that I can't use right now, I have them sitting in my locker, which you use in-game currency to pay for the locker, but once you own the locker, it's yours. Throughout that account, you have that locker. I'm pretty sure. That. Let me see. Let me double check that. Okay, so the lockers this allows you to see, get, or put things into your locker or specified locker. Only the character that the locker belongs to can share the locker. For instance, if you created an alt, I'm pretty sure you would be allowed to use that alt as long as you typed in share. But that goes into something else, because you can never have two characters in the same room at the same time when you're playing. You can have two online and as many characters as you want, but they can never be in the same room. Unless you're fusing, or I'm sure there's another one. Unlocking potential, I believe, is what I was told. Which is a Namekian thing. The fusions work a little bit differently. I know Namekians confuse, and I think Kaios confuse. I don't think the sands confuse. I'm not too for sure on how it works because I don't believe there's a help file. But if you had a locker, you create an alt, you would use locker share name. But it's not like you'd have to keep paying over and over for the locker. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else there would be if I have max health already. That is my max health now. See, that's going to trip me up a bit because when I was still a sand, my max health was at 30,000 when I was full power. Right now, I have a ×5 multiplier on my power level. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's look at my skill list. See what is here that's different. Which one of them here is Heal Pulse? Let's see what else. I have had Kaioken as a sand. The difference here is that KOs, with the Kaios, they can use a bigger multiplier than the sands. Okay, that one's a new one. Let's see. So that's a new one there. The catch and needle, that's a new one. There is also another thing to keep in mind is there are also aliases you can use for moves. Like if a move is too long to type in, you can shorten it and have that shortened version as your input command, which is what I'm going to be probably going through and doing here. Let's see. Divine Burst. Apparently I have 10% of it. Let's see, go to the help file for that move, see if there is one here. So what this does is an ancient technique. The Kaio who developed this ability has been long forgotten in the sands of time. This technique is so old that within the Kaio society that in present day it's viewed more as a coming of age skills, signaling to all those around the user that they have taken their first running steps towards becoming a truly divine being. The user allows the natural divine energy that saturates the home world of the Kais to empower their base Kai level to give the user a complementary boost to all stats. Oh. Well then. And oops. As you can tell, my typing skills are not on par with a lot of people. Okay, so, well, maybe... Oops. See? I keep losing my fingers on the key. So that skill there, I have to go to someone to learn. Which makes sense, it's a Kaio-specific skill. So I'll have to figure out where to go for that, but we will see what else we have on the skill list before we move on. Let's see. We were at Divine Burst. And we got Holy Cyclone. So we'll this Holy. So you cannot learn that. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Huh. Okay. That might be another that's specific to a person, and it might very well mean I have to go to the Kaio's homeworld. Let's try Kaio create. Let's see. And it doesn't have. Now I have to be careful with this one if I do start using it, because I was pre-warned that it takes power level to use, and I don't mean as it lowers power level as in, or how to word this, I don't mean that it lowers power level for a short amount of time, temporary. It's a permanent power level decrease to use it, which means it might make some really good gear. Okay, so he was able to teach me that one. Now let's try Ascension. Let's see. S-I-O-N. There we go. Okay. And let's see what Ascension actually is. So, to make it easier on myself, I'm just going to go up one tab and replace practice with help. The technique the ancient Kaios developed, working much like the Super Saiyan form, a Kaio allows their natural ki flow to become a tsunami within themselves, allowing ki to flow without restraint through all of their cellular structure, causing a glow to envelop the user. With a powerful shockwave, angelic wings burst out of the back of the Kaio, signaling to all around them they are in the presence of a being who has ascended into the holy realm of demigod. That sounds awesome. Okay, so I was wrong. There are transformations. See, I didn't think there'd be transformations, like physical changing transformations. But I guess that's what I get for assuming, right? Never assume, guys. Makes an ass out of yourselves. Let's see. Let's try that. Let's see if we can get lucky enough to actually manage to ascend to a higher being. Okay, here's the description after becoming ascended. Your body begins to shake as your inner power is released in waves, clenching your fists. A glow begins to spread over your body, leaving you glowing white as surrounded by a heavenly presence. Suddenly, with one last burst of energy, your aura forms glowing angelic wings to spread out as if you were about to take flight. You have done it. You have ascended. Look, self. that's annoying. Let's see. Surrounded by glowing white auras. Aura has formed two angelic wings behind her. There's an electricity arcing throughout the white aura. Braska is one of the immortals on this game. He's a pretty cool dude. And I still haven't figured out how to use the music channel. Well, anyways, not well. Let's see. That's pretty cool. So I wonder if that can be stacked up with Mystic. Where's my mouse? Let's see. Look her back. Let's see. We'll meditate here for a second. Get that key back. Let's see. So it does give a boost to health, just like a Super Saiyan's form would. Just got the multiplier. Alright, so okay, so you can't stack the Mystic form with the Ascended form. I mean, it makes sense because Mystic form is pretty powerful in and of itself. Let me go back to my skills real quick. And I'm sorry for this. I've been just running back and forth through my skills, but I want to make sure I understand the race before jumping in out into the world and getting attacked by an ambush mob. Because that would be bad. Now, Healing Pulse might be tricky, because I think the only way I'm going to be able to master that is by using it outside of combat, and I don't know if it can be used in combat. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My little one was having issues with Netflix. So, what was I doing? Skills. Let's see. So I think at this point, the only thing that would be left for me to do is to IT over to Kaio's homeworld and try and find someone to teach me. It was... Which one was it? I'm pretty sure... Let's see. Let me look through here. Probably... Well, the punch looks like it. I remember Divine Burst. Oh yeah, Divine Burst and Holy Cyclone. That's what it was. So, also about the rooms, like, and it'll go through this if anybody does jump in when you're in the training academy. But right here in the room description, where it has room info, it tells you what kind of room it is. Like, this is a room where it'll promote healing faster, no instant, which means you can't use instant transmission to get in or out of this room. It's a safe room. You cannot be attacked in this room. And it's a locker room, meaning it's got lockers in the room. I mean, pretty self-explanatory in that regard. So we will go to the Kaio's homeworld. For a second I thought somebody might have killed him because I couldn't sense his life force anymore. Let's see. I've never actually had too much of a reason to wander around certain areas of the homeworld. Apparently there's a thug somewhere that he wants taken care of. Let's power down real quick. I'm going to try Mystic again. Sorry guys, like I said, I just woken up, so I'm not quite all type happy yet. Unable to. There we go, okay. So now that I have reached the mystic form, it will drain my energy very quickly, I'm pretty sure. But we will see. I'll meditate real quick. Get my energy at least back up to max, which shouldn't take too long. Because I had about 800,000 energy with my sand. Which all of this is based on stats, like your health, your energy. That's all stat based. Constitution is for health, con. Energy is worked on by intelligence and wisdom, I'm pretty sure. And it's all in the help files too. And you do get a PL boost when you master a skill. Like if I was to master Mystic, get it up to the maximum percentage that it can be mastered, then I gain a PL boost, which is pretty much what I'm going to be working on, because it's pretty much a free PL boost and a free once you master it, you don't have to worry about not landing a skill as much, or in the case of a transformation, you don't have to worry as much about not transforming the first try, which means you use less energy. But one thing about being transformed, when you train transformed, you gain more like PL from being transformed during training, which I'm sure it also helps with the aspect of the stats, but I'm not for sure. So we will go train. I'll put it this way, my stats right before I transformed, I had just gotten every single stat except for luck to be about just above 1,000 base stat. And right now they drop back down to under 800. And stats are a big deal, which I kind of ignored them. I wouldn't say ignored, but didn't work on them as much as I should had. Let's see. We'll go with Constitution first. Health. 4. Start. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. I might have to end this one here soon because I think I'm just starting to ramble. But essentially, what I plan on doing is going to try to become a Kaio-san, like Goku Black in Super. Because why not? And I do know that they are going to be working on getting Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God, as well as Golden Iserians like Golden Frieza. I'm sure they were working on a couple different things, but that takes time. And you got to keep in mind these people are working from home that are working on this. Some of them have 2 jobs. One being the mud and one being their actual day job, their full-time job. And I will be starting a new job here soon, so I think the easiest thing for me to do would be to start streaming my mud. I shouldn't say my mud, but the mud I play. But yeah, everyone on here, if any of my other viewers that aren't from the mud see this, hop on over. I already did one to show you guys where you gotta go to download, what to type into Google to get to the client, the mud connector, which will show you the address and the port number and how to get it into the client itself. Unfortunately, I've never had to work with any other clients. I've always used Mush Client. But I do show how to use Mush Client. So if you do intend to play, if you see this and you have the opportunity, give it a shot. Hop on over. It's a good community. They always help people out. Looks like Seed has jumped in. But I mean, other than that, I guess also, real quick before I go, RP is very much encouraged. It is not essential, but it is very much encouraged. RP roleplay, like you are put into your character's shoes, and we are starting to get a little more towards it. I'm intrigued by the idea of roleplay. I have never actually role-played myself before. Like, I got the idea of putting yourself into your character's shoes because in most games I tend to, like, do what I would attend. Like, if I was in this character's position, how would I react to this? What would I do, kind of thing. And if I was him, that's kind of what I do. But, yeah, it's something to look into if you guys are interested in a tight community, a close-knit group. We also have a Discord. If you hop on in, we can help you get over to the Discord. But, yeah. Have a good day, and don't forget to be kind, be nice. Could make somebody's day a whole lot better. Don't forget, like, comment.